If you're watching this in the United States, we live in a world with absolute abundance. Children born today are not born into scarcity, but into prosperity, not into vulnerability, but insulation, not into danger, but into protection. The modern world did not emerge from our individual efforts, but from accumulated labor, sacrifice, and choices of generations long dead. The generations now, Gen Beta, just being born since 2025, Gen Alpha, and the Millennials have an inherited safety without having to fight for it, comfort without having to defend it, and power without understanding its cost. This inheritance is unprecedented. All right, what's up, guys? This episode is going to be a little bit different. Going to be a little bit more or less scripted. Bear with me. I'm not really good at public speaking, so it does take me a little while to collect my thoughts. Um, Gonna be kind of giving you guys a little bit of backstory, kind of how I've got here, a little bit about my history, some of the dumb choices I probably made in my life to end up here. Um, Kind of want to talk about like why I'm creating this channel, what's the purpose and point and direction of it. Um, I will be kind of going for a little bit of a walk on this one too, so definitely more for the audio audience. You don't need to really watch the video, but if you like good aesthetic walking views, you're more well to indulge yourself. Um, Other than that, I hope this kind of video kind of clears up like what my intentions are for this video. Um, Otherwise, here you guys go. Hope you guys enjoy it. All right, guys, I'm actually going to be hitting 35 here in a couple of weeks. So thought it would definitely be a good, even just talking to myself in a way of, where I've come from, how did I get here, and where do I want to go. So in a sense, this is actually going to be a little bit more for me of like open therapy. So if you so will. So I was actually born in England. My dad was military, so did the whole moving around thing a lot. Luckily enough, I did get to spend my adolescence in one spot. So from first grade to ninth grade, I was in one area. But unfortunately, uh, what three different high schools? No, three different high schools. Ninth grade was at one school, 10th grade was at another, 11th and 12th were at the same. So pretty rough time to move around, but it had in some ways it has its advantages, it has its disadvantages. Um, but yeah, graduated high school. Wanted to go into the military. Man, I definitely still had some wetness behind my ears trying to go into that. Definitely needed to do some growing up. Didn't end up going. I had a lot of injuries, uh, torn AC joint, so it kind of pushed me back. I will admit it was pretty cool being in the Marines recruiting office. The news that when the news broke that we got Osama bin Laden, that was kind of cool. So unfortunately, that just never was a path for me. Um, and I don't know. I was definitely very lost in my 20s. No direction, no purpose. Was just going with the flow. Still very, very introverted and just insulated into my own headspace. It wasn't until like what 26, 27. That's when I started getting into the bar restaurant industry, more of the front of house. And it's over the last couple of years that I ended up getting into bartending and working at pool halls. You know, it's fun for a time. It's entertaining. Looking back on it, I'm like, golly, bro, the whole place was just a cesspool of just not productive people. And of course, now that I've been out of that environment for a while and I've hopped around, how many friends do I have from that environment? Zero. The sad truth, it might be a fun, entertaining place, but the people are, for the most part, shallow. There are still some good people, don't get me wrong, but as far as do I have any connections or relationships with anyone from that industry? Absolutely not. So, um, I did get to a point here recently. Was working at a seafood joint, and man, dude, working with some women these days, especially when there's alcohol involved. Holy crap, guys! like the contempt that you will start building. Like, yeah, it's pretty rough. But I've started realizing something was wrong, man. Something wasn't clicking. This environment wasn't making sense. Do I really want to surround myself with people, coworkers that are drinking all the time? Um, none of the women that I work with could maintain a relationship. All of them had either had kids, and the father was somewhat in the picture, but they weren't together, so they were dating someone else. No women there had a stable relationship, and I'm like, I don't want to be in this environment. So, and it was even worse too. I could go into that whole thing for a whole episode, but I'm not going to get dragged into that. But it just came into the realization that I need to quit. So it was golden handcuffs. I was making a couple $100 a night. Um, the money was good, so it really sucked kind of leaving that. And even during this time period, I was definitely shelling a lot of money into cryptocurrency. Kind of hoping big that would work. Unfortunately, it didn't. So at this point, I just got so burnt out. I need to get out of it, and so just put my 2 weeks in. And since then, I haven't had a job, and that's been about a couple months now. But oh man, where did I go from here? I have started going to church. I've tried church a couple of times. This has never really worked for me. I don't know, something's really different about this one. I definitely have been going now for about 3-4 months. Now I'm actually very involved with it too. I go Wednesdays, I go Sundays. If there's a revival, I'm there 5 days a week, 6 days a week. I stay after to help out. I actually enjoy the people there. I enjoy the conversations that we're having. Um, and it's definitely something that's impacted me for the positive. And we just recently did a men's ministry here at this church location, and man, it was, oh dude, getting like 70, 80 dudes like saying a prayer. That's like heavy, man. That's finally some bass. So it was like I haven't like thinking about it. I haven't heard a group of men like that in a very long time. Maybe not until since high school, of just like a chant or prayer or anything like that. You can really feel the bass. It was something that like was very profound and left a very positive impact on me. And that was very recent. So, but that's where I'm at now. Um, just kind of trying to still figure out really where I want to go. Um, but that's the idea with this YouTube channel. Um, I see so much wrong with the world. And unfortunately, there's a truth to it, man. Negativity sells, and I'm aware of it too. When I look at my YouTube, the content that I'm consuming myself, I just see some of the dumbest stuff, and I have to click on it. And of course, you just get stuck on some of that stuff. But the kind of goal I want to do with this, um, this is one of the reasons I've been like really getting into the Bible. Jesus called out a lot of hypocrisy in the world. And I think a lot of us are seeing a lot of hypocritical crap going on. I mean, the fact that you have to have a YouTuber, Nick Shirley, go around and find out that there's millions of dollars of fraud going on, like that's what's going on here. I don't know if any of you guys know who Reckless Ben is, but there's a whole Lego scandal that's been going out, and the fact that you've got police officers being involved in like cartels. It's like what like everywhere you look at something is so broken, so wrong, and it's just like what the hell's going on? And I've realized that there's two choices that you can do from this, and this is where I think I've seen both choices. One, the whole world's broken, it's screwed up, no one's doing the right thing. Fine, I'm gonna contempt for the world. I'm gonna enjoy it too. Or I'm not even gonna take part of it. I'm just gonna isolate myself and sedate myself. I think that's what the world really, really wants. Or take the other option, and I think this is like the rich dad, poor dad perspective. It's like, oh, the whole world's broken. I need to do something to fix this. Let me actually start making the change. And so that's kind of what the idea with this channel is. Like all the stuff on the YouTube is just content. There's a lot, so much more stuff that I want to do behind the scenes, specifically in my local community here in Jacksonville. to actually make an impact on the people that I could see. Like, I'm not too worried about, people outside 50 miles away from me. Like, nah, man. Like, I'm not trying to go get the whole world here. Like, just want to make an impact on my local community, the people that I can see drive past, go around. And that's the idea. I think and some of the other content and videos that you guys have seen, um, there are some like underlying like Christian values. Now, one of the things I'm very apprehensive about, you're not going to see me here like pull out scripture quotes, and I'm still very in my infancy on the whole Christianity stuff. It's helped me, but I want to be very cautious about starting promoting stuff without, false doctrine. And one of the biggest things I've seen is that once I start consuming a lot of Christian content or just trying to get more involved or understanding of scripture, I start seeing infighting content of like orthodoxy, Protestant, and it makes me feel icky wanting to even click on that, just trying to understand the differences because now you got two Christian groups fighting against each other. One's heresy, one's false doctrine. Nah, I'm so sick of the negativity sells aspect of social media. So I want to get away with that. Granted, it does work, man. I mean, I've done it in a couple of my videos too. So you know, I'll admit to my hypocrisies in some ways, but that's not the goal, man. I definitely want to work my way into public education somehow, or at least education fields. I think there's a lot of things parents aren't doing, unfortunately. Um, Interesting stat. This is just coming up. I'm not even going to reference it, but I found out. So 2025 was the new generation that's being born. Gen Beta, I think is what it's called. And 40% of the babies born in 2025 in the United States were born outside of wedlock. And I think that's going to have some very catastrophic results, in the next 10, 15, 20 years. The odds that a kid born with both their parents married to when they graduating being divorced is going to be absolutely high. There's definitely a reckoning coming, a generational reckoning. I see that myself and just some of the stuff I'm studying, and I don't know, preparing for what's coming next, or at least starting to have some of these conversations needs to be addressed. I just find it the irony that we had schools in the '60s, public schools had gun clubs, actual gun clubs that were promoted public education, and now we don't have none of that. So are we actually raising our kids to be independent, critical thinkers, capable of defending themselves, or are we actually turning them into mindless, sedated robots that just consume content? So I can tell you right now, I've only probably shot a gun 5 or 6 times, but I'm perfectly comfortable with being locked in my room with YouTube, not talking to anyone, consuming content, consuming Grubhub, and I see the hypocrisy in that. I see the duality of what's going on. So, and I feel like something needs to change, or people need to start stepping up, even when it's uncomfortable, even if they have no clue what the hell they're saying. And me, I don't even want to listen to this YouTube because I feel like I'm an absolute autistic retard when I talk. So I don't know. Um, Other than that, I think I'm gonna keep on blabbling if I keep going any much longer. So, hopefully this makes some sense to you guys. Otherwise, I think I'm done. I'm gonna end right now. So, deuces.